Hello, this is Anna with Anna D. Scratch and Crafts, about to take you on a journey, either scratching cards or showing you some of my artwork. Whichever it is, sit back and enjoy the video. Hi, this is Anna, and I'm going to take you through my doing some flowers. The first one here is dandelions. You can kind of see on the background I did pencil in. I don't do that too often, but on this one I did. I love dandelions, they're pretty. The other flower is just one I made up in my mind. I don't know if it actually looks like any real flower or not. So right now what I'm going to be doing on both of them is just the leaves. And I'll be doing a lot of work on them, especially here. I've got a black background. And you didn't see me paint the background. You've seen me do it before. It's just putting a color coating on the canvas. So I had to come up with something that would pop on the black. So you'll see me go back an awful lot on the leaves to make sure that they do pop out. And again, you can see up at the top on the flower where I have penciled in. And now what I'm doing is kind of adding colors and mixing. I do spend a lot of time on the leaves on this one because it is hard to see them on that black background. And I'm doing the mixing of colors on the canvas more than I'm doing mixing on the palette. Now, since dandelion leaves have those little spiky ends, I'm taking the Q-tip and running it through the thick paint and pulling out so they are spiky. Now you see here I'm making sure that it does pop, so I'm kind of outlining in a lighter green. And like I said before, I keep going back in and blending colors, adding colors. Leaves are never actually one shade. There's a lot of versions. And the idea behind paint is actually you start out with dark and then you put the lighter in. So here again, I'm kind of blending, and then you'll see later I'll go back and places I overblended, put the light color back in again. Like I said, I spent an awful lot of time on the leaves, especially on this one, is because of the black background, and I'll remember that the next time. Green does not stand out real well against black. So I had to do some putting in lighter shades to at least give some definition and outline to the leaves. But you'll see the flower I'll be doing in shades of white, which is why I kind of went with the black background. I wasn't thinking about the leaves being green. And now I'm kind of like that, shading, putting some color to the leaves for the dandelions. And you'll see why there's three of them, because there's kind of three stages on dandelions. There's the full flower, the partially opened flower, and then of course the seed, the white seed that everybody picks up and blows. So I've got the stems in now, cleaning up the leaves and getting ready. Nope, still working on the leaves. Again, putting some color definition on it. Again, the purple is a darker color and want the green to stand out a little bit. Plus, I think dandelion leaves on the edges are a little bit lighter than the center. Again, sometimes it's easier for me to use the Q-tip rather than a brush because I can control the paint a little bit better. And again, kind of highlighting the stems. Nothing in nature is one single color. It's a blending of many different colors and shades. And here we go. This is the flower that is partially open. This is the one that is fully bloomed. And then I'm going through and kind of pulling out some definition instead of just one huge dot. Give it that little spiky look on. Now this one is a brush, but I think that's the one only got a couple of, I cut it down, so there's just a couple of little hairs on it. And now starting in on the white, again I'm using the brush with just a couple of hairs so you can semi see the definition of lines. And then I keep going back in again. And now back to the other one since I've got the white, and I'm just simply outlining all the leaves in pure white. What I will eventually is fill in the petals, rather than leaves, with different shades of white. As you see, I'm kind of keep going over it. Basically, I'm redefining the leaves, or excuse me, the petals. Now I'm back to the dandelion. Those little black dots are the seeds in the center. Now I needed this white to dry, which is why I went to the other flower. And now this one is dried up. And again, just doing a little bit more work on the leaves themselves since the paint has dried on it, so it won't be mushing up the colors too much. And giving that outline just a little more pop up against that black background. Now I'm kind of adding the extra little stem, but you'll see me shortly. I will be covering that up with another petal, which is why it doesn't fully go up all the way to the top. No reason to put the green in when I know I'd be covering it up. And now I'm putting in one shade of white that I've thrown just a little touch of blue in, just to give it a different variation on white. And now I've got a variation that has got some gray in it, so it's a little bit darker white. And there's that extra petal I told you I'd be putting in. And now I'm going back and refreshing the edges of the leaves that I've kind of covered up with the color. Just again, so you can see the different petals. So they are separated. And that is another reason I use different shades of white, so that each of the petals would stand out on their own. And like I said, this isn't an actual flower that exists anywhere other than in my mind. And now going back again and making sure those petals show up. And now giving that center to the flower. Coming to the final little pieces on everything, and we're almost finished. So at this point, I will thank you for coming along the journey with me. Hope you enjoyed my little flowers, and I'd appreciate that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And one last close look of the flowers. And I thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye.